Esports Collegiate Overwatch 2 season. Today should be, I believe, NIU's closest, most fiercest match yet, as they take on Western Michigan Esports. But before we start, today is an important day to remember, as it marks the 15-year anniversary of the February 14th shootings at NIU's campus. In remembrance of those that we have lost, we will be taking a 1-minute moment of silence. Thank you. So, as we look ahead to today's match, we'll be, I'm very excited to see, as I mentioned earlier, it should be NIU's toughest opponent yet. I wouldn't say an easy start to the schedule, but certainly one that has clearly led to some wins and some pretty one-sided ones, if you ask me.
But I'm feeling good though.
Yeah. I'm feeling confident at NIU. It'll be interesting. Western Michigan sitting at 1-1, but a bit of a deceptive 1-1. I believe their one loss came to Ball State, who is looking to be a top 4 team in the conference. So these are the kind of games, if you're NIU, they're your measure marks. I want to say, like, this game, Kent State and Buffalo are the 3 biggest games of
the season.
The season, essentially.
the pool, the teams.
So you're looking at that group of 4 teams, and they're all roughly in similar skill level. So these are the games. You're going to have games that are going to be very difficult to win, no matter how good you play. That's just kind of how the nature of the conference works. But you're also going to have games that you're going to win pretty easily if you're in a spot where most teams are. But these games tonight are the ones that kind of dictate how the season goes. They kind of set the tone for the rest of the season.
Mm-hmm. I'm a believer, though. I think believers are going to be pretty hopeful tonight. I mean, because of the last couple games, right? It's either been like a wash or pretty close. So I don't know about you, but I'm expecting some pop-offs tonight.
So we mentioned last week that a balance patch did just drop, but at that point it had been so recent and so new that I believe that, teams just kind of went with what was comfortable anyway. There wasn't enough time to prepare for those new strategies. But this week we've had a full week to get accustomed to the patch. We see that Wrecking Ball is very strong right now. We're finding that different types of poke comps are very strong. So but it's still in a state of flux. It's still in a lot of experimentation is happening with the meta right now and what the most efficient tactic available is.
You know how when you get a fish for the first time from like Petco, you have it in like that plastic baggie, and then you kind of put that in the tank so it could like get accustomed to the water?
Yeah.
That was us with the balance patch. And now that week has passed, right? We can go in the tank. We won't get shock, right? Yeah, we won't go into shock, right? But I'm expecting some top tier gameplay, right? Even though Junkrat got a slight nerf, I'm expecting to see some Junkrat. Hopefully, it won't happen, but a boy can dream.
I think if we're open for game 4s and games 5s, this would be your best chance so far. If you're an NIU fan, to see something close. Of course, hoping for an NIU 3-0. All biases not aside, but this should be in for a treat here.
Yeah, I almost forgot. It's Valentine's Day today too.
Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
Yeah. Did you in the Overwatch, do you choose Mercy or Genji?
I don't feel comfortable disclosing that on the broadcast. So,
I didn't do it, but I'd probably choose.
so those that don't know, there is a Blizzard has developed a non-canonical dating simulator. We see. So if you don't have a Valentine, you know.
I wonder how
is
it's
it?
gonna affect the meta.
Character with the most dates gets a buff at the end of the season.
Oh.
But it looks like Flip Flop has chosen. Looks like Western Michigan's playing for Evan. That's sweet. So,
I do want to note right now, we see Tokotoro on the May. Is that the first time we've seen that?
I believe this season, yeah, we may have seen the first time Tokotoro on the May, and the Symmetra coming out from Kiefer on the side of Western. The NIU does capture this point. It looks like they're going to take this fight. A very long first fight that isn't quite exactly over yet. Ball's still stalling.
That ball cannot die. He is just doing everything he can just to be annoying.
Ball looking just to be a constant presence and a constant distraction.
Oh, brother, am I
for
right?
the Huskies.
Okay.
So
I'll stop.
the wall coming out. We'll see. We may have had some technical difficulties here with the stream.
We had a rat chewing on the cables here in the stream room.
Yes, we should be back in a minute here.
Looks like we took care of him. But hey, look, NIU, we got point. There we go.
Sorry for all the difficulties, but yeah, NIU capturing point.
Yeah, it must have been the Western Michigan mouse. He snuck into our office and was trying to sabotage
Fighting
us
on the
with
cables, taking down the stream cable.
plotting our downfall. But I mean, NIU's got Psychic.
Well, forced to use Immort. Rico gets sent out from Tycho, but pay the price for it with their life. Hayes beat gets canceled. Trades coming in from both sides, but if the main tank goes down, Racer falls. The barrage is going to have to be the ult to turn this. Doesn't do that. Only gets one, so it's just left up to Tokotoro to stall it on points. NIU does have the percentage advantage.
He can do it. I'm a believer. If anyone can stall, it's Tokotoro and Hayes. Good to see you too.
I lose it. So the stall, excellent from NIU. They're still stalling this. They've gotten an extra, what, 20% from the stall. And if you find the right pick, if you find a pick on a support character, even that wrecking ball.
I mean, look at Flip Flop just keeping Racer alive.
You're looking at potentially not just a stall, but a fight turnaround. But I think the stall does stop here. Fall is almost running back into Primeval. So interesting to see Tracer being played heavily on both sides. So Tracer Kariko, and it doesn't surprise me that Kariko is still very prominent. You know, no changes this last week with her in the balance patch.
Yeah, I mean, NIU's got at least one more fight in them for round end.
It will come to this fight, but the ultimate advantage certainly on the side of Western Michigan here. They do have mines. They have beat to sustain a team fight. It's going to have to be one large shatter from Racer. And it finds one, but the beat counteracts it. Racer not able to follow up on any of those picks.
Just holding that shield up.
High noon putting so much pressure on the Ryan, but it falls down. Doesn't find a pick, but both Cassidys fall to the ground, as does Flip Flop. NIU, this is not their point to take.
That was just disrespectful.
Tokotoro. So the ultimate advantage, that last fight proving strong for Western Michigan, as they take a 1-0 lead here on Nepal.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a confusing match all around. I mean, point kept going back and forth. Stream was down for a little bit, so we didn't see the whole entire fight. But it was...
Yeah, a fight so chaotic, it took down the stream.
You know, I have played over 1,000 hours in this game. I have so much time in this game. I just realized that the left side of the map is blue, and the right side of the map is red.
Oh, yes. Yeah, and that's a design
What?
trope they've continued. If you actually look at New Queen Street, if we end up being on push, they have one map is kind of all brick with like red, and one map is all blue with more of a glassy aesthetic. So
That's wild.
no surprise we're seeing more farmers here. So, you know, some good vertical cover to work around with.
Ooh, we do see
On the
Racer on
ball.
the Ramatra.
So they're going back to what worked for them last week, with the exception, you know, Tokotoro on Tracer, but a lot of heavy poke from the Pharmacy with Ramatra. So even though Ramatra did get that nerf, There's still some strong presence here. And Western Michigan going for that brawl.
Ball's going around town. Gets the pick.
Direct hit onto Primeval.
Oh my God!
Gets 2. Finds Tycho. That just might be what NIU needs to capture this point.
Oh,
finds 3.
crazy.
Can I hear 4? It's full. As Racer tries to stay up through the Rhine poke.
1 HP in a dream.
Northern Illinois takes this point, but because they didn't get that presence early on, Western Michigan working with an 18%. That's about a team fight / recontest.
Can we just note how Flawless used his Boop Fara to knock the people away from the TP?
It was to
really just secure those kills and rub it in.
Excellent ability usage. So more poke here. Western Michigan playing as a unit, giving Flawless a lot of room to work with Fara, but Western Michigan's aggression is going to force them back to point. And as during the rotation, both Flip-Flop and Racer find a pick each. Turn this around in their favor, and looks like they're going to be able to keep this point.
Yeah, NIU just going in here. I mean, they got teeth. They got the teeth this time around, right?
So either the teleport from Kiefer didn't go up or early enough, or it didn't go up at all. But we'll have to see.
What do you think Fara's vertical
Flawless? Far's vertical is pretty high.
That's true.
We'll have to see if Flawless can remain undetected during this barrage. It's going to be large. And they find 1. As Flip-Flop and Tokotoro get a pair of picks themselves, and NIU looking very strong after that first fight here. And they take the fight just on the 1 ultimate. NIU's ultimate economy looking incredibly well for a team that has won consecutive team fights. So they're going to have Annihilation, as we see Racer on with their Annihilations have been so good as of late. You have to wonder if they can win this fight just by themselves with that 1 ultimate. The Nemesis mode coming down. The Shatter gets nullified partially by the Kariko E. Oh, both Kitsune rushes falling out from both sides. Tokotoro able to find Primeval. It is a 4v5 in NIU's favor. More ultimates being poured out. Valkyrie up. Annihilation has been used. Trades coming out from both sides. Tanks from both teams
out.
being able to stay on. As Brother able to find Flawless in the air. Racer's just so desperately trying to find the finishing pick.
That's a tank. He's just doing tank things. He's not dying.
But the Kariko from Western Michigan is back. Falls instantly though. It's just a Lucio and a Tracer from Western Michigan try and keep their hopes of a 2-0 alive. Primeval able to start the job, but doesn't look like they're going to be able to finish it. As I say that, the ball with the stall. The poke keeps coming in from NIU. Flawless is back and finding even more picks. Another barrage. Finds 2 and secures the point for NIU.
If I'm going on a marathon, right? If I'm going from Sacramento, California to New York, I want a Racer by my side because that man stayed on point and just refused to die.
Just such an anchor on that last fight. And such an excellent contest in anti-contest on the side of Western Michigan. You know, all the stall characters coming in, but NIU able to just do the little things to get ahead.
Oh, we see Tokotaro back on the Ice Girl on May.
On May, the Ramatra staying, so NIU going a little bit something more comfortable, but we've seen this comp before in past seasons from Western Michigan. Maybe not quite because it was Overwatch 1, but though that Orisa Torb, such a strong presence, especially with such long sight lines on this indoor point. So I know you're going to have to keep a mind out for that turret, but this is not the most unusual comp on this point, at least.
You see Brother trying to knock people off in the void.
Yeah, this is prime boot potentially. You see Hayes wall riding, trying to look for something for themselves. As the space falls out from Brother. Brother falling a little low. Can NIU find the finish off the kills, but Racer has the right idea. You have to get the supports first. Norisa with the boop. Gets Racer off the point. Hayes is just going to have to fall back to spawn. Western Michigan caps.
Flawless on Sojourn now. Tokotoro remains May.
Yeah. Also Tokotoro with the 80% ult, getting a lot of damage, but as you can tell the elims were not there. So NIU trying to engage here. Bring a lot of utilities to do so. Fortify and Wall.
Ooh,
coming
nice
out
jab.
from NIU. Western Michigan falling back a little bit. The turret from Western Michigan is down. A little less poke potential. Their unofficial 6th player. As Kiefer pops their railgun, sees if they can find any NIU members.
Oh, big freeze, possibly?
Freeze, but the Kariko E allows both DPS from Western Michigan to get out. That was an excellent E from Tycho there.
Tokotoro is still fighting this, though.
Trying to keep that train going with the Kitsune rush, and that's exactly the ultimate they need. 4 more fall instantly. I don't know if Hayes has died at this point. They've been...
Yeah, Hayes has been just kind of like sliding around, you know, dodging bullets.
Been very present, but their wall riding skills has allowed them to get out of the fight. NIU has to win this off of just one ultimate Kitsune rush. It is quite the ultimate to do it on. As it comes out, the wall splitting up Brother. Vexa able to bail them out with a well-placed sound barrier. The poke comes from Flawless and takes down Primeval.
Oh,
Another
Brother,
excellent wall on the Brother. The walls have been so excellent from Tokotoro so far, and Racer boops them off with the javelin spin of their own. Some Orisa on Orisa violence. But
look at that spear! Racer is hunting.
Racer
Primal
is
instincts,
super strong
mammoths.
presence on the point. Western Michigan's going to have to give them this one, but not without getting 88% first. NIU is going to have to win every team fight here from here on out.
Do you see it? Because I do.
What's up?
What do we see?
The Toko Torbjorn.
The Toko, the mirror.
Oh yeah, this is a mirror. No,
if you would have said there would have been some mirror action today. This is not the combo I would have thought. As Orisa tries for a huge ultimate, doesn't get any picks, but whittles them down. Tokotoro falls, but another boop. His Brother trying to find some picks of their own with their ultimate. Tokotoro with the railgun. Or sorry, Flawless with the railgun. Picks coming out from both sides. Hayes might have to commit beat here just to keep this point alive. You are at 88%, so it looks like NIU is going to try and just go for a very fast recontest.
That was an intense fight.
They have to keep moving. They're only at 91%. They're going to have to do this very quickly. So they will be able to touch, but how good of a contest is it going to be? Hayes is going to have to use that sound barrier as soon as they come back. As Tokotoro finds a headshot on the Tycho, the main source of heals from Western Michigan falling. Tokotoro trades their life for it as we see the Sojourn duel in the back. But as that happens on point, the sound barrier keeps NIU up can only keep them up for so long as Western Michigan takes map 1. So very back and forth, very competitive game as we knew going into it.
That was intense. I held my breath for I think half of that last map.
We got ourselves a games, ladies and gentlemen. Wow.
It's not going to be the clean sweep that we've had for a couple games. It's definitely. Yeah, I mean,
of course, if you get an environmental kill, that pretty much confirms a play of the game.
That counts like for 2 kills.
So we will head back to Hybrid is our next map, and let it be known that this week is the first week that we actually have our new map pools. So we're either going to be seeing some Kings Row, which, to be honest, knowing NIU, I don't think they're going to pick Kings Row. Kings Row is a map that they've obviously have a lot of time on, but it's not something I would honestly expect to see be the first choice from NIU. We have Paraiso, Midtown, Numbani, and Blizzard World. Honestly, if I'm making some sort of hot take, I think Numbani might be it. You know, NIU's dive they've been so comfortable on it, but you also don't have a lot of time to scrim it. But to be fair, neither does Western Michigan. You know, very new for both teams, so you have to kind of look at what comps do you think Western Michigan is strongest and try to pick a map around it. I'd personal bias, I love the theming of Blizzard World. I'd like to see some Blizzard World action.
I only like Blizzard World when it's raining. Then I think it's a beautiful map. Otherwise, it's mid.
And you opting for Kings Row. Wow.
I think you forgot what team we're talking about here. NIU always goes Kings Row.
Guess I forgot what I'm. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Crazy. You got your head in Blizzard World right now.
Hiring new commentators, ones that know the team.
I don't get paid enough for this.
So, NIU opting for Kings Row.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So, ESC rule sets state that the team that doesn't pick the map, that being Western Michigan, gets to pick whether they want to attack or defend first.
Curious to see what they choose.
Some substitutions coming in. DPS swap on the side of Western Michigan. So we will see Arcane in the game.
Oh boy.
Got ourselves a match. Mm-hmm. And just see Kings Row if NIU is going to opt for some sort of Reinhardt comp, because Reinhardt also did recently get buffed. And NIU has been historically known for their Reinhardt play, but we have not seen it this year.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always a big fan of Reinhardt. I think I've always enjoyed watching Reinhardt games, right? Even if Overwatch was just 2 Reinhardts and then 4 other people just pocketing those Reinhardts, I think that would be a very fun game to watch.
Initiating match.
Ryan mirrors are one of the more... It's what every main tank player lives for.
I wake up in the morning and I have a picture of Reinhardt just on my desk, framed.
See, wait a minute. We gave ourselves a point.
What?
We lost the first map. It's.
Oh wait, yeah, we know we lost the first round.
Maybe we're manifesting something different.
Hold on, I'm so used to NIU winning the first round. I put in the score a little incorrectly.
Force a habit, fortunately.
Genuinely a force of habit, but we got the good luck of the statues today.
I sense a 3-1 victory for Northern Illinois on the horizon.
Yeah, it's coming.
So NIU opting for.
How's it going?
Boy, this is a throwback comp. So this is a comp that NIU ran pretty heavily in 2021, with the exception, minus Azaria that no longer has the ability to coexist with the Rhine. But the Lucio, Bap, Cassidy, May, and Tokotoro's walls were super effective. They were perfectly placed on that last point in Nepal. So I have confidence that Tokotoro can catch off that main tank with their walls. So NIU pushing into the counter aggression.
Both walled in.
It is tiny Overwatch between 2 May walls. Immortality big enough to keep the cast alive for NIU. Both teams incredibly low. Flawless able to find Arcane. You have to hope that more picks come from that.
What is happening?
Falls down. Both DPS from Western Michigan falls. This is a May Brawl comp, my friend. And this will not be the only time we are at a loss for words between 2 walls.
We just had an Overwatch sandwich.
This is the Architect comp, putting up walls all over the place.
We're literally playing Fortnite.
So another wall, excellent job splitting up.
Another sandwich.
Racer getting caught up to the wall, but NIU focus fire on the wall bails them out. So with this comp, see the window coming out from Flip Flop. Find some effective use. Racer almost had a job of falling down. They're trying so hard to keep it up. Flip Flop holding down that right click, hitting those direct shots. Racer saw their life flash before their eyes about 7 different times that last fight. But as I was mentioning, they're in this kind of pseudo, almost mirror comp, not quite, but with the May and the Lucio being the 2 integral parts of it. The Ryan is able to get in more effective, much closer, while the Orisa is much more effective at a poke. And the pin finds Kiefer. The Blizzard gets one, but lately that's all they've been needing to do. But the beat excellently timed. But the wall excellent.
Oh,
Arcane.
Racer.
Racer charging out of the fight. Tokotoro gets caught out with a well-placed headshot from Arcane. The Blizzard comes out. Western Michigan with their ultimates. Looks like they're going to be able to take this point.
Yeah, Flip Flop is backing off. I mean, that was an intense fight.
So with both teams running May, you hear a lot about focus fire, and a lot of times that does apply towards enemies, yes. But in these comps, the focus fire also has to be placed on those May walls, because you can break them down. We saw that earlier, Racer being saved because NIU did such a good job of focusing their Mei wall. So window coming up again for flip-flop. They seem to have had this very frequently.
Yeah. I mean, you know, flip-flop. Flip-flop is a support, but at the same time, he likes getting those kills and just helping his
They
team
are
success.
bloodthirsty.
And just because you're a support doesn't mean you can't kill.
Window able to find Mei with one, but honestly, a window for an entire fight is worth it. Window not the most game-breaking, fight-winning this ultimate game. So if you can get a team to back off just on one window use, it's better than nothing. But a well-placed wall, a Mei engaging in, but picks are coming on the side of Western Michigan rather than the Huskies. And it looks like with the railgun and the Orisa ult from Western Michigan, they're going to be able to take this fight.
Yeah, you just see you see Hayes getting out of there. I mean, that Western Michigan's putting up a really good fight for NIU, and I think this is the most they've ever been challenged.
Yeah, this
season.
This is definitely going to push NIU to the absolute limit. The time bank looking pretty healthy for Western Michigan. NIU is going to really want to win this team fight here to get some tempo back. But with a Kitsune rush, assumedly coming from Western Michigan from Taiko, it might be harder, easier said than done, but they're not using these ultimates early. They might not do. Blizzard does come out, but Arcane does fall for it. NIU able to disengage away from the Blizzard, so the Blizzard's not going to get any rush. But as NIU is burning all the resources trying to keep Racer up, then comes Kitsune rush. As Racer does fall, so the main take falls. Kiefer able to find 2 picks. And it looks like they're going to be able to get their second checkpoint. So NIU having another window to work with. I feel like every time I blink, I see another window. And a sound barrier, potentially to engage here, so you might expect Western Michigan to play early and aggressive with their sound barrier. But NIU really going to need to take this fight here. Feed comes out. Western Michigan going to engage on that keeper, finds the headshot on the Toko Toro. Teresa pulls them in, finds another pick, and another Western Michigan fight win.
I mean, Western Michigan is just so coordinated. NIU just really struggling to get through these defenses.
Feel some frustration coming out, but 3 ultimates to recontest a point. You have Shatter, you have Sound Barrier, you have Window. Those three should be enough to get them off cart. You just have to watch out for Kiefer because they have the mechanical skill to be able to find 2 or even 3 with that railgun ult. As it falls out, but no picks finding out so far. NIU has to be aggressive with the tempo here. Shatter finds a couple, but
Not enough.
not enough to get any picks. The beat able to keep everyone up, but it's more of a survival beat, not an engaging beat. But that'd be just enough to be able to find Brother on the side of Western Michigan. And Western Michigan says, you know, we have a lot of time to play with. We do not need to throw out any more for this fight. So Western Michigan coming up on Blizzard and Kitsune Rush. 2 huge alls, especially if you're confined to such a close space. You know, if you're NIU, you don't have a lot of room to work with because the card does not have to move very far. This might be a fight that's the battle of the Blizzards. Not sponsored by Dairy Queen. Toko Toro Blizzard comes out, able to find other Mei. Flawless finds a headshot onto Arcane. Both Meis are down. The Dragon splitting up Western Michigan and finds Keeper. So I think that's back to the drawing board again if you're Western Michigan.
Yeah, I mean, NIU's really trying to hold down this timer.
Yes, and
that boop actually, I think, helped Racer.
Yeah, the pick on a Brother, ensuring that they get at least another extra 10 seconds from that respawn timer. You know, you're not gonna be pushing in without your tank.
Yeah.
But NIU, excellent fight to win, but Arcane and Taiko still sitting on that Blizzard and Kitsune rush. You have to hope maybe Flawless finds some sort of headshot, and they're going to be able to find some kind of pick easier with that window. So far, Western Michigan playing excellent rotation around cover to find that, and Flip-Flop and Flawless go down. It's a 3-on-5, make that a 2-on-5. The Kitsune rush, such a good ultimate.
Yeah, with that, I don't know if NIU can't stall in time, and that's it.
So 45 seconds left from Western Michigan, so, you know, not terrible, but if you're NIU, you can at least have a silver lining where you can push, and you can push all the way to overtime and still guarantee yourself an attack. So NIU is still with an opportunity to win this game.
Initiating.
Yeah, I mean, 45 seconds isn't the most in the bank, but it's still enough.
It's a team
right?
fight. It's a team fight and a good contest.
And yeah, and even so, just getting 3 points, right? That's just so much.
So, have to wonder. You know, I'm almost curious what drew NIU to Kings Row.
I think it's just tradition, right? I mean, it's what we're most comfortable with.
This etchy shot.
Ready for battle.
Okay, and a completely different comp
Is that?
from NIU.
Is Racer gonna? Is he trolling? Yeah, he's trolling.
I mean, the Racer Doomfist in the fall semester when NIU competed in the Activision Blizzard Collegiate Championship, there was a bit of Doom play from Racer. I've seen it and I've gone up against it before, and it's not the most fun. It's
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we've seen. Have we seen Doom at all since the season started?
I think we may have seen Racer on it a couple times. I'm not 100% sure, but it's certainly Ramatra, Orisa have been the heavier comps pick. So NIU going for something more pokey. So we know how well the last couple weeks have been for the Flawless Haze Farmercy duo.
My man Racer is not trolling.
So
He's going in the back.
NIU hoping and relying that those picks and that poke is going to be enough to make it work again. Such an unexpected comp. If you're looking into the season, I would not have expected a Farmercy comp, but poke staying strong from both sides. Western Michigan staying steady as we see Tokotoro for some kind of a flank route, but
Yeah, I mean, and NIU's kind of attacking
Western
from all
Michigan.
directions here. Because you see, you have the far in the sky, Doom zipping around, Tracer zipping around.
NIU trying to sandwich and Flaws with a direct hit, damage boosted on the keeper. No mercy on the side of Western Michigan to res that, so it is a 4-on-5 for the time being for Western Michigan. The Kitsune teleport ensures that Taiko is able to get out, but tank almost falling for NIU. Poke's going to have to keep coming in because Western Michigan back at full strength. They're going to try for this recontest. And with the resources that they have, they might be able to do it. But the pick falls onto Taiko. That's the main source of heals for Western Michigan. Racer struggling against that Mei. But Tokotoro able to draw their attention away. Ice block is used, but Racer and Tokotoro both fall. Flip-flop finds Vexa though. It's going to be extremely close. It's just Western Michigan. Just their tank left.
Oh, Racer's coming for support.
The heals coming back from Western Michigan. The Barrage able to find one, but if you get that point, I'd say it's a worthwhile trade, especially when NIU does have 3 more ultimates to work with, and they do cap it. They have 5 minutes to make it to the next checkpoint.
That was a really good push from NIU, and big props to Flawless because he was just getting those picks consistently.
Things were looking really dicey on that Western Michigan recontest. They did a great job of sustaining and healing up, and because of that, you know, a lot of support ults across the board.
Especially against Kiefer on the Cassidy. You know, I mean, he was just still applying that pressure even with the hit scan on him.
Back. And with that poke, you're forcing out cooldowns like Mei Ice Block that are so useful to engage in the middle of a fight. You have to be happy if you're an NIU fan. The poop. NIU doing a great job of dealing with that Mei so far. As the tank for Western Michigan falls down, Brother falls on Orisa. Kitsune Rush forces them even further back. If you're NIU, I don't think you use any more ults here. I have to say maybe even the Kitsune Rush. Kitsune Rush helpful for pushing them off point, but no pick secured off of it, so NIU does buy themselves some distance with it.
And NIU just with this really aggressive angle, right? Just pushing up really far. And it's working out really well.
Flawless and stuck in a tricky position. So Western Michigan able to put the pressure on Flawless. Take this fight. NIU is just going to disengage off of this. But actually, NIU getting caught up in the Blizzard and the Orisa ult, but I think they were looking to disengage already, so honestly,
Toro playing hide and seek.
C9!
Is he gonna get it?
C9!
No.
Back yet? No. And hopefully, if you're an NIU fan, you hope Tokotoro doesn't get eliminated for this.
I do like watching his shenanigans, just running around the back line.
You have to hope that they get up, but
Team response.
Western Michigan opting not to chase. They want to keep their focus on the front line. As Valkyrie comes up, that's a damage boost for all 5 NIU players. The Kitsune Rush is going to give Western Michigan a similar advantage. The beat comes out. Not before 2 players from Western Michigan falls down, though. And the exception of Flawless being picked up, the rest of NIU trying to stay up. Flip-flop falls, so both main sources of heals are down, and the respawn advantage being roughly equal. Stokotor trying to finish off that Lucio. Finally finds it, but not before Hayes falls. I don't think NIU takes this with their supports down, but if they keep this fight going up long enough, the supports will be coming back, but looks like they're just going to do a bit of a disengage. So even though NIU gets the first 2 picks of the fight, Western Michigan does an excellent job of turning it around. This keeper finds a headshot on the Tokotoro. That's got to be frustrating. Further finds Racer, and then another quick team fight.
Yeah, you see the supporters just helping each other get out. That was, again, another brawl. And NIU, 2 minutes on the clock. It's still a decent bit of time.
Yeah, a lot of good peel from Western Michigan here. They're coming up on another Blizzard, another Arisa ult. Look at Tsune Rush from Flip-Flop, hoping to find some kind of pick. Flawless actually gets found out by the Arisa ult. It's just another quick team fight. Western Michigan, they've been able to win these fights off with just one, maybe 2 ultimates, and that's been a huge difference maker. It's just the ultimate usage. This last point. See, Flawless. I know you're going for kind of a full dive comp, but with such narrow corridors, there's not a lot of room to work with on the sides. This is definitely a brawl heavy map, but as I say that, maybe I gave ourselves some good commentator curses. Racer is able to find 2. Hayes does fall down. Racer finds another pick. Can they find 4? Tokotoro and Flawless pick up the rest. And NIU
just flipped a switch
after almost 4 minutes gets a team fight. But I think Western Michigan's going to be able to contest this here.
Yeah. See Racer's kind of sneaking around.
A very dive-heavy comp on not a traditional dive map.
Yeah, I think it's just going to punch him off. Yeah,
Some space made, but the perfectly timed Fortify with the high noon. The deflect, keeper patient enough with not to shoot in the deflect and is awarded with a pick onto Racer. Tokotoro, while they're rotating, Flawless does fall and does not look good for NIU at all.
Yeah, I mean, 10 seconds to do something quick. NIU's really got to pull a rabbit out of the hat right here. Do some magic.
Don't think they're going to unless a last second contest.
Oh, that may
with
Racer's insane! No, Racer, where are you?
Racer touches. Oh, it was not a winnable fight.
I mean, he got it into overtime at like 0 seconds.
That was, you know, cutting about as close as you can as far as a recontest goes, but you know, you don't win games on your recontest. You know?
Yeah.
But so Western Michigan going up to a 2-0 lead. And as we see, we're going to be going just a huge blizzard. Turn the fight around for Western Michigan from them. So we'll be heading into Escort, so our pure payload map, and we actually have quite a bit to choose from. So we have the new map, Shambali Monastery. We have Havana, Rialto, Junkertown, Circuit Royale, and Dorado. Now, I honestly think we'll be seeing, I think my prediction is we'll be seeing Rialto.
Okay.
Because the Far Mercy, it's such a strong Far Mercy map. We've seen a lot of success from the Far Mercy on NIU so far. But if you're NIU, you know, you haven't been in this position all year. You haven't been staring down the face of a loss. You know, you have to win 3 in a row to do this. With the way NIU has been playing, it's certainly possible that they will win 3 in a row, but they really just have to keep calm and keep their composure, and they can do it. And they certainly have the talent to do it. It just kind of depends on a few small factors, you know, like ultimate usage. Western Michigan being able to do so much with seemingly not a lot of ultimates, and just composition. You see NIU switching things up a lot, while Western Michigan staying on the constant. I think NIU might be doing a little bit of self doubt. I think their comps that may not work a first fight or maybe 2 fights. I think it could still work. You keep at it. I'm not sure if it's a composition difference rather than maybe just using utility differently here or there.
Yeah, I mean, with these recent balance patches too, right? Some of them don't seem. I know Mercy got the most changes, right? But it is a bit new territory because the patches, only week old, are still relatively new, right? And where some of the heroes are now compared to when we first started the season, there have been some pretty big shifts, right? Soldier's seen a lot of changes. Mercy's seen a lot of changes. Genji is, we're hoping for buffs, but
yeah, and if you noticed, with some exceptions, but for the most part, the core comp of Western Michigan has been what's been meta in the past prior to the patch. So they might be running the same kind of mindset that NIU was last week of, hey, it's still a new patch. Let's wait to figure out while we wait to figure out what the new strongest tactic available to us is. Let's stick with what we're comfortable with and stick with what we know. So NIU still talking over their maps. One map that I'd be incredibly surprised to see. I don't think we'll be seeing Shambali. I think it's just been too new of a map. I don't know how much time they've had to prepare on it. I don't think we'll be seeing that. Havana, Rialto, Junkertown, all maps with some pretty solidly long sightlines, especially Havana and Junkertown. So if NIU is feeling confident in maybe their hit scan abilities, I know Tokotor and Flawless both have the ability to pop off when given the proper space. Wouldn't be surprised to see there. Circuit Royale, I admittedly have not seen NIU play on it. It's something they've only really tried out in scrims. And then Dorado. Dorado is another good Pharmacy map. So honestly, there's not a single map that I would look at out of this map pool and say they're definitely not picking that. So it really is, no surprise that NIU is taking a while to talk it over because, map pick is everything. It in some cases can determine a win or a loss depending on if you pick the right maps, you pick the right comp.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see where we go, what happens. Again, like new things, and NIU's trying out. Like we see Tokotoro on the May. We haven't seen that. This is the first time all season we've seen that. We've seen it for 2 games now.
Yeah, I don't believe Tokotoro is a rookie to the May. I believe they
no,
have
not
been
at
practicing.
all.
I don't think any of our roster is new to anybody per se, but it's new to us as viewers, seeing play them on this broadcast.
Right. So.
Still eagerly awaiting the news
There.
of our next map, but
Pause.
while we do that, let's take a look at some of the other action going on in ESC tonight. But before we take a look at that, we have our February calendar, Overwatch 2 pickup games this Friday. Be sure to also watch tomorrow as NIU takes on Ohio University in League of Legends. NIU, looking after dropping the first 3 games of the season, they have the opportunity to win 3 straight. So to be able to climb back to 500 after a bit of a shaky start would be huge. So around the ESC, looking at all the matches today, to be honest, I think the most competitive one might be this. I'd also be keep my eyes out for Northeastern and Akron. Northeastern I think is considered by many to be the strongest team in the conference, but Akron no slouch themselves.
Yeah.
We see NIU also at the moment is one of 4 teams that are still left undefeated. Northeastern is still undefeated, as is Ball State and Ohio Esports. So four teams left undefeated in the program. We also have 4 teams yet to get a win. And neither of the teams play each other this week, so we still have a potential chance to have 4 undefeated teams and 4 teams without a win at the end of the season, at the end of week 4, which would be pretty crazy. If you take a look at some of the game results, we do have some in at the moment.
Already.
So
Wow.
University of Buffalo 3-0'd Toledo. That is our one match that we have confirmation on so far. So not a big surprise. University of Buffalo, very strong program, able to get the job done against Toledo. So Buffalo actually moves to a record of 2-2. So I think Buffalo had a very strong, very tough start to their schedule. They had a couple tough opponents. Can't remember. So, and they've taken their time. Looks like got some confirmation from. I forgot they're having a meeting, talking things over. I like it. If you're frustrated and you're kind of kicking yourselves and you go right into a map it's only going to spell disaster for you. So I like the move from I Forgot, taking just a little bit of a breather to.
Yeah, you gotta have that mindset. You know, you can't go in feeling down. You gotta hype yourselves up again. You know, get up, get the blood flowing.
Yeah, when you're down like this in a series, you have to take it. You almost have to treat it as 3 individual best of ones. Don't think about what you have to do to win from here on out. Think about what you have to do this next game to make it a win.
Yeah, right here, right now. Right, what can you do? What can you change?
Yeah.
So
I through the headsets, I heard a large "Go team" scream. So I think NIU's hyped up. They're ready to go. They're motivated. You know, they do have a very strong mental game, and if we see them coming out swinging, coming out fighting, you know, we know this break certainly helped them a bit. So should be expecting our map pick pretty soon.
what do you think it's gonna be?
You know, I'm gonna predict Rialto just
You're
based on the
saying Rialto?
comfort and the history behind it. I would not be surprised to see Havana, Dorado. Honestly, I think anything except Shambali wouldn't be too huge of a surprise. But if I had to pick one, it'd be Rialto.
I'm gonna put my money.
Hypothetical money.
Hypothetical money, right? I'm not getting paid for this. I'd say Junkertown.
So not gambling. You say Junkertown?
Yeah, I
Okay.
feel like that's what we're gonna get. You
That's
know,
some long sight lines.
I'm not a big fan of Junkertown, honestly, but I
I think
feel
a lot of people are, but
we've seen, you know, a decent bit of Junkertown so far. You know, NIU's definitely played it. We've seen it. They might be comfortable, so that's why I'm thinking we might
Yeah.
get that pick.
we are heading to Rialto. ladies and
You
gentlemen.
had
So-
it.
So, spoiler alert, maybe see some Pharmacy comps
Yeah,
coming.
some
maybe.
birds in the sky.
Some dog fights potentially if Western Michigan wants to run a mirror. So Western Michigan making another substitution. So Primeval and Arcane kind of swapping back and forth between each map. So
Mhm.
it must be, you know, I haven't quite cracked it myself yet, but it's got to be some sort of you know, hero pool difference. And Western Michigan must already know what kind of comp they want to run on this map if they make substitutions based on that. So, you know, we'll take it one map at a time. So let's just focus on. We heard more screaming. I don't know if that was.
Yeah,
that was
we're
what you
we're
meant,
in the streaming room and we hear the Overwatch team just getting hype through the closed door.
but we love to hear it though.
Oh, I think it's awesome. You know, good to keep it going, keep that, you know, positive attitude.
I think this might be the moment. You know, fingers crossed. We look at it and be like, wow, this was the turnaround for NIU against Western Michigan. You know,
Yeah.
This was.
I mean, we've seen some reverse sweeps last semester, right?
I
I think we have. I'm pretty sure we have.
NIU has reverse swept before. Last season, I don't think there was any reverse sweeps in our favor, and then the Ball State game in 2021, I think, was the last reverse sweep. NIU down 0-2 in a very similar situation for this. If you know, I was a player back then, and funny enough, I forgot our current coach now gave kind of that halftime locker room speech of, "Hey, we could do this." And we turned it around. So, you know, I'm hoping history repeats itself here.
Yeah.
So making sure both production teams are ready to go. Looks like Western Michigan opting to defend first, but
Well, I guess we're waiting.
we're waiting on something. We had some Discord technical difficulties. So actually, while we wait for this map to start, we'll be right back, and just to grab a bit of a water break. So we will return once the action resumes.
to Rialto.
Welcome back. So we are
We're ready.
finally ready to go into Rialto.
Initiating match.
Oh, we gotta
A
do
little bit
this.
of a flip.
Gotta
on
flip
scores.
the names, and I gotta flip the scores. That'll work.
So, more results from around the Esports Collegiate Conference. Miami gets a 3-0 victory against Bowling Green. So Miami, after I don't
go for
believe
the
they
boat
dropped
ride,
the map
guys.
since they've lost their first game.
Ready.
Another
Mar-
match result coming in.
Valentine's
tense.
Day boat ride. How romantic.
Aw. There's no one there.
What do you mean?
Oh wow, very interesting cop from Western Michigan. Double sniper with the Brig Carico ball. But if the ball is as good of a distraction and as good as at evading pressure as they were on that first point in Nepal, I can honestly see this comp going very well, especially double sniper into the far mercy.
Yeah, see Tokotoro getting a little warmed up. With the salt.
5,
Getting a little sturdy
3,
He's widowy hitting the Gwitty.
on Rialto. Yeah.
Widowy hitting Gwitty on Rialto.
You see,
Yeah, eats a bullet
the
right
one
out the doors.
The one sniper gets spotted. Not be surprised if Wally gets spotted, but the second sniper, the boot,
Oh,
not quite. Flip up had a bit of trouble. Poke not strong enough to finish off the ball. It's very difficult to do that, but opting for that Asher Mantra Pharmacy Rico comp. Something that's worked for them on past matches, but these are not the same teams.
Ooh.
And the body block, able to find the main tank. You have to be careful, just because the tank is down, those two snipers from Western Michigan being
Yeah, I mean,
they
NIU
can
has
turn the fight around in a second.
fantastic start right so far, right?
And they keep pushing this card forward, but ball's going to come back. Western Michigan with an excellent disengage. They know they're probably not going to take this fight 4v5 very easily, so they're just going to come back and recontest. Flawless finds Primeval, gets it just enough time that they need. The annihilation, but everyone's turning towards the ball, but as I say that, they turn towards DPS and the supports from Western Michigan. Flawless finds another pick. Things are going much smoother than they were on Kings Row. NIU hoping to take the point, but you're gonna have to take care of that large HP ball first. And with that,
You know, I'm not a big Pharah fan, but Flawless is making me want to play Pharah when I get home.
I mean, they make it look so easy, you know.
He makes it look fun, because he's getting... Oh.
As Kiefer
Anyway.
finds the pick on the headshot. So Kiefer one to be respected in that airspace.
Yeah.
The one-shot ability. So
Or the Western Michigan Defense Force.
So excellent play shield. Gonna force the long-range headshot from Flip Flop. Who's the DPS on this team? Flip Flop finding the headshot onto the sniper. The mines come out, splitting NIU apart. Hayes able to squeak past the mines. Not before Flip Flop falls down, so you only have Mercy heals, but the res comes out. Valkyrie's up with the heals. A lot of Western Michigan players on low health, but they are getting topped off. NIU, I like your chances in this fight, but
Consistently pushing his cart.
the Kasuni rush going to be coming in from Tycho very soon. Kendall able to pick off Tokotoro, so a bit of a tricky situation in the back line. The Tracer and the Carico able to cause a lot of damage, but Tracer Flip Up take care of it before any more is done.
Flawless is chasing his prey.
Catches
and he
down the
gets it.
frog.
Eraser.
NIU looking in a good position to take second point. Racer taking enough space. Hopefully discourage a decontest. You gotta be careful if you're NIU to all turn your backs on that ball, because you have Kiefer on the Widow. You do not want to turn your back on them. Flip flop, the bloodthirsty support. And maybe not find any picks, but pressure's too enough out of the fight.
Is
doesn't happen.
the Widow counter? Because he ran in. He was throwing like Nerf darts at him, right? Balms himself to get id of the poison, and he's still going.
Yeah, Flip Flop, she's doing an excellent job putting pressure. It finds another pick on a Tracer. This has been the Flip Flop attack so far. Excellent stuff. Another pick onto Lucio. The cart keeps marching in.
NIU in this, literally in the spot.
The sticky bomb puts a stop to Flip-Flop's Reign of Terror if you're a Western Michigan fan. And Kiefer with the pick on the Hayes, both supports falling down. NIU going to go back to the drawing board, but they do have 4 minutes to cap this. Now, I don't want to say history repeats itself, but with the reverse sweep against Ball State 2021, the locker room speech did come after a point very similar to this. NIU was able to almost full cap with about 5 minutes left, but not able to finish it off. But I firmly believe that this is the strongest NIU team we've seen yet. Would not be surprised if a full cap does come here, but backline is pressured from NIU. Ball is able to find one with Blade. Going to try and keep it going, but the Primal Rage from Brother, they end up falling off the map. Maybe it's a poop that didn't get a kill credit towards it, but NIU's going to have to keep this pressure up.
Yeah, his fall is just holding back that front line.
Excellent turnaround with the use of Blade and Valkyrie there, but NIU not going to have any ults to try and keep this going. But if they can find that tank immediately, it's going to be huge for them. The Winston incredibly low, but you're not going to finish them off. The supports falls, and the space being kept, even though the railgun from Kiefer is up, able to find him, Flawless and Hayes down, so they're going to have to do, NIU's going to have to do with just 3 players. Primeval able to find Flip-Flop, so
was it dropping in?
A lot of support help. I think with the respawn advantage being so strong for NIU, 0.12 meters away.
He's going to throw in Robert.
Tokuto's going to have to throw in the towel on this attack. It's got to be frustrating.
Yeah, NIU's got it right there. I mean, they got 2.5 minutes, right, to push it, but they're so little.
Everyone on the side of NIU ready. We have full team fight. It might be a 6-on-5 if you count Bob in. Bob's going to be doing something. It turns into a 5-on-5 with the trade with Toko Toro. Western Michigan able to focus fire them so well. The res does come out, so it's back to full strength. This annihilation from Racer, hoping to find more picks. They get 1, they get 2.
Ooh.
Finds 3. Racer
my gosh.
clears the card. And NIU gets the full cap with 1 minute and 53 seconds left on the clock.
You know, back in high school, they actually called Racer the broom, right? Because he would just
Sweep
them off. Yeah.
He's doing the same in college. Man.
His college legacy lives on, or high school legacy lives on. I mean, pretty good fight. Pretty good map. You know, NIU really. That prep talk came in clutch.
Yeah, I mean the first 2 points, incredibly one-sided, but you know, Western Michigan able to put up a good fight on that 3rd point, but NIU ultimately captures with 1 minute 53 seconds. So you'll have to see. So it looks like they're going back to the Far Mercy comp. Kiefer going back to the Widow, and very similar comp here on attack. Actually, almost the exact same comp that they're running. The exception.
That's what I'm going for.
The exception of no Hans instead of Tracer immediately from the get-go this
a
time.
lot from my experiences.
Mercy is just chatting. Talking about knights in flying armor.
Can't
or
change the world by
experiences.
following all the rules. Enhancing your strength.
They're all just talking.
They're just,
in
they're
game.
just chatting. They're just having a good time.
Yeah, good time. You know, about to go to war.
5, 4, 3.
So I'm interested to see the Kiefer versus Far Mercy battle that's going to go on here, but you know the battle might not even happen if Flip-Flop finds the headshots right away like she was doing last point.
Both teams are kind of
Bit of some dive action. You're just trying to distract that back line if you're NIU. So tracing the ball going to be causing a lot of issues if not dealt with properly. NIU able to deal with it well so far. Ball slam, not able to find anyone. Toko Toro in a bit of trouble. So is Flip-Flop and Keeper able to find a body shot to finish them off. Tracer left on 1 health. Ball is able to find Primeval, but you know, you have to decontest if you're NIU. Far Mercy duo is still alive. You have to hope that they stay alive. If the ball is able to
Brother
find,
is just in.
find a couple supports, but Ball is taking some shots from Widow. And you see, especially with the specific point on Havana, such long sight lines. I would not be surprised to see maybe a switch off with Farah here, but they're going to stick on it. I'll move almost into the river. The contest with Annihilation. Is Flawless able to find the hit skin from Western Michigan. The stall is strong. Flawless forcing his Kariko to use all of her abilities. The longer this fight goes on, the respawn advantage is on the side of NIU, but a couple ultimates from Western Michigan, not enough to take it out. Mines and Pulse Bomb, both from Western Michigan. Does not get a single pick onto the side of NIU.
Yeah,
so this fight still goes on. This Tracer able to evade this so well. Primeval doing an excellent job on this Tracer, but this fight continues. But looks like Western Michigan's doing a bit of a soft decontest. At the very least, you're going to get some time here. With a bit of a flank here. Hopefully not getting caught out into your Flawless. As ultimate pops on point, so Western Michigan want to cap this. They're going to have to run right into the Annihilation. But they run right away from it and right into Flawless, who finds 2.
Flawless is everywhere.
They are in the walls.
Yes, Flawless is definitely in the wall, right?
So, speaking of walls, Keeper popping their infrared sight, so able to see through walls.
Widow can see in the walls. Yeah, Brother is excellent at just getting in there and
Rush
respectfully
probably expect
being
to see
annoying.
it soon. Kitsune Rush coming out, and Tokotoro the Kitsune Rush the visor. And if you're Western Michigan, there's not much you could do into Kitsune Rush visor. It's just such a strong combination of ultimates.
Ooh, look at that jump.
So ult combos, maybe not as common as they were in Overwatch 1, just in the nature of there being one less hero, but a combination was very lethal that time around. Kiefer actually falls into the water, maybe for a reset.
Going for a swim.
Going for a dip, and only 45 seconds left from Western Michigan. If they want to take this point, and if they want to sweep NIU, they're going to have to win this fight here.
These are the mines for Michigan.
30 seconds.
Yeah, that's definitely going to separate NIU a little bit. There's a pathway back there?
There is.
What?
Oh, another excellent time recall. Almost staring at near certain death from Tokotoro. Kitsune Rush coming out from Western Michigan. Tokotoro able to find Primeval though. The damage pouring in from NIU. The barrage
Big
only
trade.
finds 1. Potentially a res might be in the cards for NIU. As Tokotoro finds Taiko. All they have to do is finish off this ball. And their journey towards a comeback starts. Sticky Bomb finds Tokotoro.
That's gotta be
Flawless
it.
with 2 more picks, and NIU stays alive. We are going to map 4.
That prep talk, I want to hear that. That must have been scripture, what the coach said, because NIU, I don't know what they just stepped it up, right?
Of the game.
That was a much better map for NIU.
Yes, I honestly think it does come down to picks because Nepal extremely close. Well, let's take a second to appreciate Racer's play of the game here. The play that finally was able to let NIU cap after a couple minutes of trying. So, I mean, I think it all just came down to map picks these last couple maps because I was honestly very surprised at the Kings Row pick from NIU. Even though they were comfortable on it, they've had ESC action on it. I think with their play style and their hero picks, something like Kings Row, it surprised me. I'm not gonna say it's a bad pick. I have full faith and confidence in the reasoning behind these picks, but something like Rialto makes a lot more sense as far as a hybrid map goes.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you can't pick Rialto for instead of Kings Row, 2 entirely different map types. But Western Michigan wasting no time. They're gonna go Coliseum. So
That's gonna be interesting. I mean, we've seen Coliseum, I think once, right?
we've seen a push map once. I'm trying to remember what it was.
It was like 2 weeks ago, I think.
Actually, I believe it was New Queen Street actually. So we have actually first time seeing Coliseum, and then another substitution, Arcane back in for Primeval. So they're just trading maps. You have to wonder if it's going to be something compositional, but I think if you're NIU,
I mean, NIU's kept their comp consistent, right? I think they're just trying to stay warm, stay fresh. right? I mean, they're playing against Western Michigan.
Coliseo's, I think, I could definitely see it working with NIU's comps that they've been running with the Pharmacy, the Ash, and a lot of long sight lines on that first point. But I definitely know Coliseo. I'm not sure the amount of time they've been able to scrim on it. Especially when if you're a collegiate team, you're obviously going to put most of your time and resources into control because you want to get that first map. You want to start off strong, but then you put a little less weight into push, just because it's not guaranteed to be played every time. So with the limited resource and limited time that collegiate students may have, being balancing school, potentially work, potentially practice. It's not always easy to be able to get multiple reps in of each map each week. So you really have to take your time and pick your maps wisely. Yeah. So NIU, I think they're deciding on whether or not they want to. Or actually, no, it doesn't matter. There's no attacking or defending first. So I just realized is for those
what direction is the robot facing normally?
like a cardinal direction, like north, south, east, west.
I mean, because like if you're facing his back, right? You're attacking.
I suppose. I mean, it flip.
It means it's absolutely superfluous.
The bot's direction flip flops, all pun intended.
Flip flops.
Yeah.
Every time I go to the beach, I put on some flip flops. I like the flip flops, especially when you walk and you go to the flop, flip flop. And they like clap against your feet.
Yeah. Don't like it when they squeeze against the sand though.
Oof, yuck.
Like that high pitched squealing noise.
You ever got sunburn on your feet and put on a pair of flip flops?
I'm fortunate enough to actually say I haven't. But
there are some things I would never wish for another man to experience. And I think sunburnt feet and flip-flops is one of them. But
so NIU keeping that momentum going, also staying calm. It's important to stay calm not only after a loss with frustrations, but also after a win when you're riding high. So, like I said, NIU has to treat Coliseo like another best of one. Don't worry about control. Don't worry about a potential tiebreaker. Just focus on here and now.
What is he drinking?
He's drinking out of a shell of some sort. He's drinking water. Yeah,
it's
a little
seashell.
Seashell.
That's gonna be me when I finally get access to my water bottle after this hour-long game so far.
Talking for at least an hour and a half.
Yeah. Just 3 Poseidons. Oh, now he's just being wasteful. Anyways.
So,
Flawless is my second favorite person today.
Hold on, they might be baiting you.
Only because I dedicated my first favorite person to Oakley. She gave me pretzels.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, that's a good reason.
Yeah. But I am excited to see this Flawless on the Rat.
Yeah, very interested to see the Rat. And Western Michigan running something very similar to what they ran on Kings Row. Arisa, Sojourn, May, Kariko, and Lucio. NIU with the Sojourn as well, with a little bit of J Silly. Racer on the Ram, and then the Mirror Sequel comp as well. So Poke going to be coming in strong for both sides. Love to see how well this wall is from Western Michigan. It does catch out Flawless, but the support not able to fall down, and this looks like a Western Michigan fight win. So the wall in those close corridors, the Poke just so well. Western Michigan now is incredibly strong.
Yeah, we see Flawless going back to his tried and true Genji.
Back to Genji. Interested to see what this Genji could do against this comp, especially with a Mei being able to keep people at bay so well. The Freeze putting so much pressure on anyone who tries to get close. And you're fighting again. Racer able to find Lucio. You'd have to hope that the rest of them crumble after that, but Flawless getting poked out by the Mei. Racer falls, but not before Tokotoro finds a pick of their own. Flip-flop able to finish off the kill on a keeper. It's just Mei and Arisa. Arisa able to find one pick. It's not as close as you might think. It's just the Arisa, but Arisa on high health with Fortify.
That goat's got claws, and she's fighting.
And maybe trying to get some of the cart pushed, but Vexa, with the wall riding ability, is able to get it back super fast. The respawns, just with the bot being so naturally close to NIU, they do have a bit of a respawn advantage. One continuous fight is going to turn into one long team clean fight as both teams have full respawns coming in.
If that robot
out for that Arisa ult. The speed out is just enough to get them out. Very low health from both teams. Kitsune Rush might be just what Western Michigan needs to finish things off.
Well, Flawless.
It will be, but Flawless able
Oh,
to
he's
get
taking.
a little bit of distance.
You gotta respect it. You know, he was going for it, but they noticed too
I'd say
soon.
the pressure on push is just so immense because you know for every single meter that the enemy team is pushing, you have to push that and then some.
Yeah.
So a lot of ults coming in from NIU. They have to make sure not to use all of them at once. And Flawless trying to put some pressure onto Kiefer, who has their ultimate active, able to find one. So NIU going to try and counteract with Blade. Flawless finds two. It should be NIU's fight. NIU. Western Michigan is going to decontest. So NIU, good ultimate discipline.
So many ults came out in so little
They
time.
had 5, but they could not afford to use 5. They are at this distance disadvantage. But if they can find this pick,
big
and
picks!
Lucio, so that's just going to allow the cart to keep rolling. Western Michigan not committing to the full decontest. They thought their teammates can get there back in time faster. And Maywall going up, just going to allow Tokutor to charge a little bit more.
Sojourn really gets charged on shooting the Maywall.
And Torb turrets. But with the new change, as you see, they're already lost their charge. So
yeah.
and then you continuing to move that cart. So NIU, Tokutoro gonna have to find a couple picks here. So the beat coming out to try and counteract Blizzard. Racer finds 2. And it's almost over before you start it.
NIU is so close to the lead.
Gets the lead
They
again.
got the lead.
With 6 minutes and 30 seconds, and NIU is going to keep this cart rolling. They're going to try and get this checkpoint. A checkpoint would be absolutely massive here for NIU, getting those close spawns. Western Michigan going to try everything in their power not to make that happen. They only have Orisa ult to work with. And Tokutoro with that railgun. I hope to use it early to try and find some kind of a headshot. Tokutoro, Orisa from Brother, doing a great job of spacing them out. Racer able to find Keeper. Racer with these picks and Annihilation has been so excellent. Pops the ult,
Shine
finds
on the
one
Kiriko.
support. Flip-flop finds Arcane, and the cart's going to keep rolling for NIU. Actually, maybe not. The cart does, in fact, keep rolling. A little bit of a tug of war there for a bit. The bot was moving away, but NIU brings them back, gets the checkpoint. They have a 26-meter lead. 5 minutes left to go. With how close these teams are and how well they've both been playing, I don't expect to see a full cap from either side. It's going to come down to distance.
I mean, it's snowball. You're looking at the snowball. It's happening,
You're going to have
right?
to expect the Orisa ult coming out here. Tokutoro slides into a kill. Another one. Flawless does fall. So it is just Vexa and Brother on the side of Western Michigan. And supports from NIU, able to keep everyone up through it.
Still going.
Bot keeps moving. Every fight win just makes the situations that much easier and puts that much less pressure onto NIU. So now Western Michigan's in a position where they might have to win 2, potentially 3 fights in a row to even get a chance to tie NIU in distance. But with the support falling early and the Blade, there's so much pressure being put on Western Michigan. Flawless with the Blade finds Kiefer. Tokutoro with the headshot gets Arcane, and the cart is going to keep on rolling.
Yeah, I mean, you imagine NIU feels fantastic right now.
Tokutoro does fall, though. So you have to be careful with a little bit of aggression. You only have one of your DPS there.
I mean, NIU, they got
the close spawn.
They got 2 ults cooking.
Kiriko ult expects, the mirror Kiriko ult. The beat almost ready for NIU. Expect it to come out as soon as possible. Kiefer does flip, so actually maybe not. Actually, it's probably best that I'll say it's definitely best that the ultimate wasn't used because Western Michigan not going to get full capped, but 129 meters if you're NIU, so they're going to fall back. They have quick spawn, so expect a fight in this narrow bridge area, potentially even before it. And NIU...
Yeah, I mean,
Western Michigan with the ult advantage this fight, though.
The game didn't start out too positive for NIU, but they really came back and pushed it pretty far.
It's going to be up to stop the momentum on Western Michigan. Once you get that one fight, it can be so easy to get 2 or 3 in a row. Racer, again, Annihilation mode. And the Annihilation, so good. Finds Vexa. And this duel is going to be tricky to teleport away. But Brother does fall down, so does Tycho. So NIU are going to keep that bot moving. Even though you're probably not going to get any distance from this without at least a fight practically in their team spawn. just the fact that you're eating this much time, and that much time is passing by without Western Michigan making any progress on that card. So it's go time for Tokotoro, or maybe it's no time. Oh, with the deflect headshot, someone shot into it. And it's a 4-on-4. But Kiefer finds Flawless, and I think for NIU, you probably just disengage here. You have a good amount of size lead. You have 2.5 minutes to kill.
Flip-Flop is looking for a kill. Respect the 1v1. Respect the 1v1.
You have to wonder if you just kind of disengage and get out. So
got out.
Good, smart decision from Flip-Flop. So if you're NIU, it's definitely not all said and done. Western Michigan has more than enough time to be able to take this. The excellent block! The block from Racer! The Blizzard might finish the job that the Shatter wasn't able to do. 3 caught in Blizzard. Flawless able to find 1 in the back line. And trying to turn this around with ultimates. The Mei able to keep them such a good distance away. Honestly, Mei is just such a strong counter to that Genji right now. But even though the fight wasn't won, that block from Racer, oh my goodness.
I mean, all NIUs do, all they gotta do is play defense and just keep that robot in the middle area, and then they win.
You have to, I mean,
they got a giant buffer right to that distance.
I mean, the checkpoint coming up for Western Michigan, they will get it if Western Michigan wins this fight. The E and the cleanse from Western Michigan is so good. It is a 4v4 now, but the ultimate again from Racer, Annihilation, has been so strong the entire time. Gets the Ryan incredibly low, but Arcane able to find Hayes. But that's all they're able to find is NIU gets another fight win.
Yeah, and they're just gonna get that robot right back.
1 minute left to go. So Western Michigan gonna have to win at least 2, maybe 3 team fights in a row from this point if they want to close things out and avoid a map 5 scenario. So amp it up.
Oh, it's that time.
Out, so no speed coming in inside NIU. The railgun trying to find something, but it's gonna be hard to through a sound barrier. And looks like this is Western Michigan's fight.
Yeah, really good pick.
Only railgun committed, but Kitsune Rush up from Taiko, so it's going to be very interesting to see how early or how aggressive they use this ult. And also, you know, if you're NIU, you might even want to consider doing potentially a dry fight here. You know, you will have beat, but it might not be enough. You might want to just try and stack ults, because all you need to do is get them off the cart just once. And so they're going to try. They're going to try just getting a fight in before the checkpoint is reached. So they're having such strong high ground presence, forcing Western Michigan to use some ults. Oh, so they will use a sound barrier to try and contest through this. But the Kitsune Rush being able to pour so much damage in. Kiefer almost falls. Able to stay up though. The poke and the constant pressure from NIU is so strong. Flawless takes on Taiko. Flip-flop balls. It is a 4-on-4 situation, but Western Michigan very, in the blink of an eye, able to turn things around in their favor. So you have 1 blade to work with.
It is overtime. NIU's so close to stopping it. Flawless has blade.
You don't have a Mei to work with here. Or you don't have to have a Mei to worry about, rather, if you're Flawless. But a Reaper just as lethal from a close range, so you have to hope this blade is huge with the Death Blossom. You have to hope that NIU has some kind of plan and something to expect it from. And Death Blossom able to find 1 onto Hayes. And it's going to be another Western Michigan fight win, but if you can find just 1 or 2 picks, it'll help you so much in the recontest, but no picks being found. So Western Michigan's still at full strength. It's actually getting extremely dicey here. You're going to have to go off the backs of Annihilation against 3 different ultimates.
I mean, Annihilation, it can still clean points.
And you're going to try and take this fight fast. Things are looking incredibly dicey. So the Shatter, the beat, ultimates being thrown around from Western Michigan. They won't have anything to work with for this last decontest, so I believe NIU will be able to recontest this. They have to fall immediately. Cart inches closer. You have 1 ultimate on the board.
NIU's really need a hero for this one.
2. So the ball is going to be able to contest, and hopefully contest well. A huge slam forces E out.
Tokotoro, my hero!
The Junkrat, Kitsune Rush coming on the side of NIU in the final picks. Flawless and Racer both find a pick. Numbers advantage for NIU. They get this picks down. Ryan is down. The respawn advantage is certainly on the side of NIU. Hayes falls, but not before Western Michigan's main tank falls. One person left alive. It's just Reaper. NIU going to map 5.
Oh my, what a fight. That was nuts.
Wow.
I mean, NIU, thank God they got that huge lead at the beginning, because they needed
Every bit of it.
meter down to the end.
Every last second was needed. My goodness.
Whew.
Things got incredibly dicey there. So, and we said at the beginning of the match, this will probably be your closest, most competitive match seen from NIU so far. And lo and behold, we are.
I hear
witnessing it right now.
screaming
We're
from
hearing
outside.
some pump up, some very hype Overwatch players.
I feel we got a complete mental swap, right? I mean, the
Yeah.
first 2 maps, I feel NIU was starting to doubt themselves. Western Michigan feeling really confident. But after this, I mean, Western Michigan, I think they're definitely starting to panic at least a little bit.
I mean,
And NIU, they got to be feeling the
but they've,
adrenaline.
you know, Western Michigan, I think panicking internally, but honestly, Western Michigan, from what I've seen, they are not showing that on the battlefield. They are. I mean, that last point, they're using ult so well.
Yeah.
I mean, the only reason that they really didn't cap the points because the respawn's advantage was just so huge for NIU. But you know, it looked incredibly worrisome going into that last point. Western Michigan having 3 ults, NIU having 0.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that was. I mean, NIU, they got to be feeling confident now, right? I mean, they got to. I guarantee you there's another prep talk happening right this very moment, as we are going to probably my favorite map in the game.
Lijiang Tower. I like this a lot. If you're an NIU fan, I think their compositions and it's something that they've had practice on before. And granted, Western Michigan obviously has the same amount, you know, of experience with it. You know, with push being or with control rather, you know, being a consistent starter map. And I believe Lijiang Tower was picked either last week or the week before as the starter. So both teams does have ESC experience on Lijiang this year. But it all comes down to this. I'm out of breath.
Yeah, I mean, I'm tired. I mean, we've been here for an hour and a half as these two teams have just been battling, right?
Yeah, I mean, no matter who wins this, I don't think either team could be ashamed of what's happened.
Yeah, I mean, it's still good. Both teams putting in their everything.
It's you know, this is what ESC Overwatch is all about is matches like this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see Lijiang Tower. It's my favorite map. I mean, this has been a good game regardless of what side you're rooting for.
Yeah, I mean, much props to just both sides. Western Michigan doing playing incredibly well. NIU doing the same. And I honestly, you know, I don't expect them to swap off for Matra, if we're being honest. But you know, I could be wrong. You know, you know, maybe we'll see some Junkrat on a control point.
I would be excited. I mean, we saw Junkrat at the beginning of the game and at the end of the game, right? That whole game was just a Junkrat sandwich.
Circle of life. It starts with junk, it ends with junk.
Yeah. What's the decomposers, right? They're like the start and the end, like the life cycle, right? Because they make the soil, but then also everything eventually decomposes back to them.
You know, it's really poetic.
It is poetic. Junkrat is a worm in the soil.
That's a compliment, everybody.
Yeah, that is true. If Junkrat was a worm, I would still love him.
Now arriving at
In honor of
Lijiang Tower.
Valentine's Day, yes, we would still love Junkrat if he was a worm.
Yeah. By the way, if your partner ever asks you if you would love them as a worm,
Yes, you say yes.
You say, first off, you say, how did they turn into a worm? Because they have to answer that, right?
Doesn't matter.
No. This is what I do, right? I mean, you're supposed to say yes, but I mean, come on, little dirty worms. Ooh.
Very interested to see the comp. I feel like we looked at this last time we were on Lijiang. We looked at some food.
Ready for battle.
Okay, the Sim TP comp. No, I mean a staple here on Lijiang Night Market.
Those have to be human hands.
So this is going to be a tough comp to crack. You're going to have to hope the Flawless finds some kind of good poke in through the windows. If you're Tracer, I can honestly see a lot of trouble trying to get in and put some pressure on. But obviously they don't know that the combat's coming. But Reaper, the Reaper sim. So Western Michigan's gonna go for the teleport right away, and they're gonna have a Reaper to hold close. So expect Western Michigan to get the cart and bunker down. So all the teleports come in. Teleporter is down. Turrets are up. So it's up to NIU to put some pressure on the sides because they're not gonna be able to take this fight head on.
Yeah, you see, Toro's kind of tickling them through the back.
Through the back, but Western Michigan actually disengaging outside of the point, but pressure and the damage very strong here. And if you don't take that Symmetra down, they're going to cost you. But Tokotoro able to find Vexa, so one of the supports is down, but so is Flip-Flop. You have to think that probably is it.
Keep it one.
Oh! Finds the finish off, but Western Michigan's going to be able to take this point. And you're so close to tasting an incredible comeback. You have to just not let this pressure get to you. But Flawless already has the barrage. I don't think they're going to expect it, but so many close calls from both sides.
Oh, yeah,
trying to go for a sneaky barrage. Gets the boot.
Oh my
three.
God!
And the point is NIU's.
Flawless is hungry.
The barrage is it's all about going unnoticed.
He just drone striked them. Right, just turn them to glass with that barrage. NIU got point control, and they're gonna bring it back.
They'll teleport in. They're actually, it's not a bait this time, so the wall's gonna come out. Actually force Racer out into a tough position, forces the teleport from Flip-Flop. Is the pressure gonna not be enough to get them off point?
Racer is dancing on the ledge there.
Racer able to find Keeper, but the pressure and the damage from Western Michigan is so strong, but the supports are just that much better for NIU. They're keeping them up. The beat. Ultimates are being thrown around. Whoever ends up with the winner of this fight is going to be in an incredibly good position. It looks like that's going to be Western Michigan. They commit a ton of ults, 4 to be exact. But NIU committing 2 of their own, 2 big ones, Valkyrie and Annihilation. So they will have Kitsune Rush to work with. There's no defense vaults. There's nothing really that Western Michigan can do about it. But that Death Blossom was a fight winner on Colosseo. Would not be surprised if it's another fight winner now, but only a 10% advantage right now. But NIU's front line able to put so much pressure into a corner, and that's exactly what the Pharah needs. Reaper Death Blossom, too much. The support is just there.
So pulling a Metal Gear and just sneaking in.
So Western Michigan. Oh, Tokotoro's getting caught out a little bit here. This is not the side up spawn they really want to be on. Not distraction, but eventually Western Michigan's going to have to say, all right, just let him be.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to get distracted from the front line too much, and Western Michigan is incredibly disciplined in doing exactly that. So it's going to be very hard to take out this Racer at such low health. I don't know how they're staying up for so long, but they finally fall. So Kane able to find more picks. It looks like they're going to be able to take this point, and they go up to a 1-0 lead here. Stick.
I don't think they can touch.
So potentially, if NIU wants to win this, they have to get a reverse sweep to complete the reverse sweep of
that is
Microcosm. And I think, especially Garden. I think Garden suits their comp a little more. So excellent. Good luck that we got Garden, the Far Mercy. Far Mercy a little more viable. Not they still are very viable. I'd honestly be surprised if we still see the Tracer. Well, actually, I think potentially they might be expecting a different comp, but the Sim TP, if you're Western Michigan, not a lot has gone right for you the last 2 maps. So when you have a glimpse of something working, you're going to stick with it. So no surprise Western Michigan is going to stay on this comp. They take the TP. It comes in, so it's going to be pretty hard for that Racer really wanting to get those comp to crack. But the window providing excellent poke opportunity for Flawless. And you see the only swap here is actually very interesting. Racer on the ball. So it's not going to be an exact same strat from NIU. They're going to have this ball to provide but even more pressure on that back line. Flawless able to find Arcane the first fight first pick, but Taika with an excellent place headshot, able to pick off Toko Toro, so it is 4-on-4. A lot of resources being needed for NIU to keep them up, but I think they should just decontest because Western Michigan does have those points.
Almost.
Looks like they did get one boot,
Oh,
but
we got the Lucio.
isn't enough.
All systems
This
nominal.
Symmetra incredibly hard to crack. So
And then you just gotta start making
some long
moves
poke,
here.
maybe trying to find some turrets from afar, because you're not going to be able. You're just not going to be able to win a close range fight against this comp. So NIU opting for something a little more long range. I like this decision. You see a lot of resources being put, so that teleporter is able inside of Western Michigan if they
big
need
pick.
it. But Racer does find the opening pick. They did flawless, able to find more with Barrage. NIU, you have to hope that you don't need any more ults to take this because you have a 41% and counting disadvantage.
Wow.
Excellent teamwork.
So NIU gets the much needed, like that, technically wasn't a must win, but essentially a must win fight for NIU. You commit 2 ultimates, and if you don't, you're looking at potentially even a 70% to nothing
Yeah.
decrease. So NIU gonna keep cautious of that. the ultimate aggression coming up from Western Michigan super early. The poke is super strong. And they might be able to flip this without getting a single pick, but Racer doing an excellent job keeping pressure on the point. They're almost at mines. And with that mine buff, it could be huge. Right into the Kitsune rush. Finds one. Racer finds some with the mines. Western Michigan able to find flawless with one. Symmetra so low. And Northern Illinois gets this fight.
Racer proving that Hammond is still a force to
And
be
the
reckoned with.
Resurrect. So NIU at full strength. And off the Symmetra at last. So onto the Cassidy, potentially some hit scan pressure. Onto Diva to
And
put
NIU
some
does
pressure.
have the lead now.
So Western Michigan is saying, we are sick and tired of flawless on this Pharah.
We hate birds
doing
is
so
what
much.
they just said.
But they're
And
gonna
they
have,
got a
they're gonna have to
Diva.
find Mercy first. It's gonna be very hard to pick off Pharah out of the sky, especially if you're just one Cassidy. So Reaper's not gonna be able to snipe it. So the DM, you're looking for an opportunity for a barrage, but the ultimates and the pressure so good. And the tempo set from Western Michigan, they're using ultimates first, and they'll be able to take this, but not before Racer gets what I'm gonna predict to be as a pretty good stall.
Spin to win, baby.
Spin to win. And able to find an extra 5%, so NIU just needs to win one more team fight. Western Michigan needs about 2.5. And the ultimates, both Western and NIU looking out on some pretty impactful ultimates. But NIU has them now, so he is to use them now, but it's so hard that Diva swap, that defense matrix can come in at any time. It is no longer a guaranteed pick with Barrage anymore. It's going to be very hard. But if maybe you distract a little bit, let's see if the Barrage comes out while the Diva is distracted.
There it is.
The high noon catches out a little bit of loss and all of Mercy. And the fight is won from Western Michigan, so
And NIU's got one more fight if they can get back to site fast
some
enough.
excellent team comps, swaps. The Cass and the Diva, such a smart decision for Western Michigan. I do like the switch here. Going full stall. NIU going to be able to stall this. It is do or die for NIU. The deflect doesn't
Almost
find
got a
anything,
touch.
but someone has to touch. It's 99. Okay, the touch is there. The Diva gets out of mech,
Oh,
but
it's
the
Racer.
Flawless does find Vexa. The Kitsune rush from Western Michigan is up. NIU is going to have to outlive this damage. Tokotoro is able to find Keeper. They're going to have to get these supports. Sorry, Western Michigan is turning it around. Arcane not falling. And the DM with the Death Blossom is so strong. And Western Michigan able to outlast the Barrage and the Focus Fire from NIU. And that will be it. Western Michigan avoids the reverse sweep.
That was nuts.
What a match. Obviously, not the result you wanted. But, I mean, I'm incredibly proud of NIU. It's not easy to go down 2-0 and to turn it around like that. And I mean, looking incredibly strong on a bond. I mean, or Rialto rather. Rialto, wasn't even close from NIU, and that was when they were down 2-0. So, really strong mental game. And I think even though it's not the result you wanted, you still have a lot to hang your head on if you're NIU. You don't falter. You kind of found your match. You found kind of this is a game that kind of starts a friendly rivalry. Obviously, much love shown from both sides. Only respect. But
I mean, if you're gonna lose a game, right? I think this is a good game to lose because we went down with a fight. Going from 0 to 2, bringing it to 2 to 3, right? A fantastic performance from NIU. They did really well. I mean, they can't get too cocky with these games, right? So, I think it's a good keep forcing NIU to practicing, getting in there, and proving what they got.
I mean, NIU, just talking with some of the players before, and they knew this was going to be a difficult match. They knew this wasn't going to be a pushover, and obviously it wasn't. It was a 3-2 loss, but just the fortitude, and I'm very proud of NIU tonight, even though they didn't get the dub on the board. They're still 3-1. They're still looking excellent in esports collegiate playoff positioning. So, and this was predicted to be one of the closer matches, and lo and behold, it was. I think the only. I don't know how much closer we can get than this, but looking ahead at our schedule, I think Western Michigan is going to give, or not Western Michigan we just played. I think Kent State is going to be able to give us a good run for money. But looking at the schedule, looking ahead next week, Ball State, an incredibly strong program. So this might be the closest game. Ball State, I think, will certainly be the hardest game. But that is going to be on Wednesday, actually. So mark your calendars. So no Tuesday broadcast next week. We're going to have Wednesday against Ball State, and coincidentally, our League of Legends team is also playing Ball State on Wednesday at the exact same time. So we have a Ball State doubleheader. So hopefully we get a sweep there. So following that, on February 28th to close out the month, we have the University of Akron, and that will start the Ohio Gauntlet. 5 Ohio teams in a row. So
the Ohio Gauntlet.
So for all of those that have stayed in tune with us, thank you so much for watching. Appreciate you sticking with us the entire match. It was a fun one. It was not difficult to stay tuned to the screen. I'll tell you that. But appreciate your support, and actually catch us this Saturday. Actually, no, tomorrow. Catch us tomorrow for our League of Legends match against, I believe, is Ohio University. Let me double check to make sure that's right. Yes, Ohio University. So catch our league team trying to get back to 500 tomorrow against Ohio, and thank you all for watching, and have a fantastic night.
Yeah, happy Valentine's Day, everyone.
Happy
Stay
Valentine's
safe.
Day.